Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Pillow Talk with Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia Watkins. I'm here with my lovely wife, Dr. Alicia Watkins. How you doing today, baby?
Good morning. How you doing?
Doing good, doing good. We should not still be in bed at this time, but that's what we're doing today.
I had a long week. How was your week?
It was a good week. I had a good week. Did y'all have a good week? Give me a yes or no in the chat if you had a good week. Got a lot of stuff done. Saw some interesting Lizzo and Meek Mill stuff, which we're gonna talk about later.
Lizzo.
Lizzo, like I get in trouble whenever I talk about Lizzo. So I need you to reel me in.
Well, Lizzo is never boring. She's always has something for us to say.
Yeah,
She's
Lizzo.
keeping our attention.
She stays relevant. Shout out to Lizzo.
Yeah,
And
bravo for that because it's when no one's talking about you. That's terrible.
that's true. That's
Yeah.
true. And then Meek Mill, the rapper. Do you know much about Meek Mill?
I do not know Meek Mill.
Okay, well,
Sorry.
Lizzo and Meek Mill kind of made the news this week because there was some interesting stuff going on. By the way, Stacey Alvarez needs you to know that her week was awesome, and I
Oh,
just think that's
great.
important to acknowledge. So, and Sweet Great Mom is out of Philadelphia, and I love to shout out to my friends in Philly because Philly's awesome. And Thornton the Third has already seen the album cover. He says it's the dumbest album cover ever. So there we go. All right. So give me a yes or no. Let's before we get started. How many of you as you hit the thumbs up button, also, please hit the thumbs up button. This is Pillow Talk with Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia Watkins. We believe in Black intelligence, and so we ain't scared to be smart. How many of you saw what was going on with this Meek Mill album cover? Give me a yes or no. Or if you saw anything about Lizzo and this interesting outfit, because I think it all fits under what I believe could be a fun and thoughtful conversation about the boundaries of hip hop. How do we balance free expression with, with saying, okay, enough is enough, dealing with the record labels that, spend billions of dollars promoting images of black people that are crazy. Shout out to Dave Chappelle for giving us the freedom to talk about that. You ain't gonna say nothing negative about gay people, but you got all kinds of chaos, when it comes to black folks. You can say whatever you want about black people, but you disrespect Jewish people, Asian people, gay people, it's a problem.
Well, let's see what happens because so far, how do you think it's been received? You
Well,
think
I don't
like
know.
some people receive it well, some people don't? It's like what do you think is going on?
That's a great $1 million question. So to begin this
Okay.
conversation, which I want to be respectful and I want it to be, it ain't nothing against Lizzo. This is not against Lizzo or against Meek Mill. I want to make that 100% clear. I'm gonna probably say it 1,000 times so people don't think that we don't dislike Lizzo or Meek Mill. But here's the image. I want to put them next to each other actually, so you can kind of see them both. The one on the left is obviously Lizzo. And this is the outfit that Lizzo. Actually, let me give you the
It's
Lizzo one first.
purple.
She wears this purple. She went to Cardi B's party,
Look at that.
and a Cardi B party. Ain't no party like a Cardi B party because a Cardi B party don't stop, right?
It's her
So
birthday party. Is that what it was?
I don't know.
We don't know.
I
Okay.
don't know. I don't.
It doesn't even matter. It doesn't make a
When you're
difference.
ratchet, you need no excuse to party. You just
Okay.
do it.
Okay.
So she goes to the Cardi B party and she wears this outfit, which is like my friend John Jamerson. He's an OG.
Uh-huh.
He said, man, I don't need to see all the groceries. So, what do y'all think? Give me describe this outfit in one word. Describe
It's a
this outfit
purple
in one
see-through.
word.
Look at the look on her face. Do you see the look on her face?
What do you see? What do you see on
She
her
does
face?
not look. I can't see it from here because my eye. But you know what? She does not look very sure of herself. She looks a little worried.
Insecure. Yeah, but so much confidence. Like Tierra KJ Williams, Miss Black Hollywood, our friend. She said she puts up a picture of this and says, "I wish one day I could have this much confidence."
Oh yeah, because it takes first. I think I like that statement Tierra made
Mm.
because it does take a lot of nerve to walk around like that.
She damn near naked.
Yeah, and you know what? To do anything successful, it's going to take a lot of nerve. So I think drawing from that sort of wow, that
But
took
but is
balls, that took guts.
but is this successful? I mean, are
No,
you
well,
really?
she was successful in being courageous
She
because
was
not many people would walk around like that.
well. She was definitely successful at something, right? But I think that
Hmm.
when I think about Liz, I'm even always wondering, like, what is really success? Like, do we really just think success is when a white man gives you a pile of money to act like a clown in public. I'm not saying Lizzo's being a clown. People can have their own opinion, but really, so if somebody said, because there's always a white man behind the scenes somewhere saying, go girl, that you slayed that girl.
So you,
I think there's
who
always.
gave her that outfit? Like, I'd like
I
to
don't
know, like,
know.
what
I
happened.
don't
What was
know.
the thinking?
Poor baby.
First of all, I don't even know how sanitary that is. Like,
Baby,
okay,
I love you so
I'm just
much.
worried about it.
I love you so much, but I swear, if I had met you before we got married and you wore an outfit like this, I would have to love you from a distance.
Look at that. And she's got pasties on her boobs because she doesn't want to show everything, boys. Come
is that
on.
a
She's got some
is that a
dignity.
pasty? I thought that was her nipple.
Oh, is that actually her? I don't know. Is that
I think it
is
looks like
that her real?
she damn near
She
naked.
didn't cover anything up.
Yeah. So
Okay, so
let's
public
take this off the
nudity.
screen because some people getting traumatized. They got babies watching. We ain't trying to scare the babies. But let's change the subject for a minute. I want to show everybody something I'm really super proud of. If you want to know what we've done with our week this week, and we'll get back to Lizzo and Meek Mill in a minute. But I figured it'd be fun to talk about what we did this week. So
Well, what did we do this week?
we actually outdid we wanted to outdo the neighbors, and I told a guy that works for us, I said I want to show off to the neighbors, and I want to kick ass Halloween display. So we really set our house up for Halloween, and we even
That's
have like
only part of the display.
we even have like a casket in the front yard.
Okay, so let's do. Is that R.I.P.?
Yeah.
Let's do R.I.P. to Black stereotypes.
Oh,
Let's
that's a
put
good
that in
way.
there.
That's good. Yeah. So me
We're
and the
gonna kill
baby
it.
got in the casket. I got in first, and she got it. It was too big. It was too small for me, and it was real awkward. But she got in, and that she's probably. I think she's in it right there, like right now. Literally, your child was in a casket yesterday. How terrible and
That is
traumatizing is that?
that's great though.
Yeah. Okay. So back to Liz. All right. So here's another thing that happened this week that was kind of a big deal. There's a rapper by the name of Meek Mill. How many of you know the rapper Meek Mill? Give me a yes or no if you've heard of Meek Mill. If you know who Meek Mill is. And I want to lay this all out with due respect to Lizzo and Meek Mill as talented artists. But Meek Mill also got some conversation, which I think it can be appropriately linked to what happened with Lizzo, because he put out this album, and his album cover was a little bit, people were kind of concerned about it. So you kind of look at the album cover here, and you've got what appears to be kind of a reflection of what I think might be like stripper culture. You got the dice
Okay.
up there, you got the dollar signs, you have the car, you have the obviously naked women, and there was a white guy who went ballistic. Wait, so did you see that white guy?
No, I did not see it.
Oh, this
What
white guy
happened?
just starts screaming and cussing and yelling. He's like, "What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this?" And he's like, "Black women, is this what you want?" He said, "This was on a city bus. Children are looking at this." And I'm so let me ask you this: How would you, for the parents in the room, how would you feel if your child went by and saw a city bus and it had, images of black women that were topless? You got another one where there's a pink dot where the woman's vagina is located.
A little
Um,
tiny pink dot too, not covering much of nothing. Okay.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. Like they went out of the way to make sure you were 100% clear that that's where the vagina was. How would
On a
you
bus,
on
on
the
the
bus?
side of a bus.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. Maybe
Huh.
maybe just do on school buses too. I don't know.
Huh.
Somebody said, "Oh, I will file a complaint." Ramona says she would file a complaint. It's disgusting. Says Allison. Kalisha says disgusting. I'd be curious to know.
Who put that on the bus?
I don't know.
Who said okay?
That's a good
That's
idea.
red green light. Let's just put that on the bus.
Yeah.
We could put anything on the bus, boys.
I guess
You
so.
should put some of your stuff on the bus, on the side of a bus.
No, my stuff is too radical
It's
because
too radical,
intelligent black people are like
but you don't know.
are seen as terrorists. It'd be different if I was a thug. If I put pictures of like naked women and crack cocaine or something, maybe a black man smoking crack or something, or a black man killing another black man, they probably put that on a bus. But you can't put that black and intelligent let's build wealth
What have you
together. Let's
tried? Has
educate our
anybody
kids.
stopped you?
That is so true.
Has anyone stopped you? I mean, just in general, have you ever been
I
stopped
don't
like
want
that?
I don't want to put anything on a bus.
I know you don't. I
That
know you
doesn't
don't.
that just doesn't mean anything to me. No buses, no billboards. I care nothing about that stuff.
Okay, but has anyone stopped you from wanting to put your stuff somewhere?
Well, what happens is, honestly, when you have black people that really work to the benefit of black people, not to the detriment of black people,
Hmm.
there are some who believe that there are institutional factors that do block that. Right. So,
Hmm.
for example, they'll have no problem putting this on the side of a bus, a naked black woman with her booty out and vagina out,
Hmm.
but they won't let like Louis Farrakhan come speak at your school because
Hmm.
somehow Louis Farrakhan is more dangerous to them.
Hmm.
Again, a black man who has not hurt anybody, who has been speaking positively about the black community, who's been encouraging black men to take care of their families and to protect black women. Somehow this guy's a threat, but yet this stuff is completely acceptable.
And it's very juvenile. I mean, it looks like a cartoon. Looks
Yeah.
like something a child would really be attuned to.
Well, you know,
Hmm.
that's interesting. So you think they might, it's even almost like it's marketed to kids.
Well, wouldn't you think?
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, there was this thing where Lizzo was on TikTok. You know, kids use TikTok, and she's on
Oh.
TikTok and she was on her knees like she was sucking a man's penis.
There's all sorts of ratchet stuff on TikTok too.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of crazy.
Hmm.
Well, by the way, everybody, you're listening to Pillow Talk with Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia. This is where me and my nerdy professor wife lay together against pillows, and we talk about all the interesting things that are happening in the world. And so, if you would like to follow us, feel free to hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button wherever you are right now. And also, there is like a Patreon if you would like to take a look at it. It's intelligentblackpeople.com. So feel free to take a look at that. So you have Lizzo out here, and you have the Meek Mill image. Now, I want to ask y'all a question. Give me a yes or no. It was brought out to the public right after this art went out, and everyone said this is disrespectful to black women, and there was outrage. People came back with an argument that I've heard before, where they basically said this artwork was done by a black woman. So give me a yes or no. Does that make a difference for you that this was done by a black woman? Like, do you feel like that makes it okay? Like, do they get a pass because a black woman, made this painting or what? Like, what do you guys think? What do you think, Ben?
No, I don't think you get a pass at all just because you're black. I mean, there are black people who are heads of institutions that carry out racism and white supremacy in their own institution and organizations. It,
Mm,
it doesn't have it doesn't matter. It's more of a principle, that gets carried out. It doesn't make a difference.
okay,
Yeah,
okay,
for sure.
okay.
It doesn't
So,
matter.
and yeah, because the thing is, if you get into identity politics, it allows you to fall for a lot of bananas in the tailpipe
Hmm.
because somebody will say, "Well, I'm black just like you."
Yeah, it doesn't give you a
And you're
pass.
like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you're black like me. That means I'm safe with you." And then they stab you in the eye. They cut your nuts off. You're like, "Wait, but you are black like me."
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm
But
black. I'm your friend
I
because I'm black.
yeah, I will say it's happened to me before personally, and it hurts more when it's another black person.
Mm.
Oh, I'm just like,
Cause you,
golly,
cause you let your guard
I
down.
do, and I'm like, oh, I expected it from white people, but now it came from you, and it just hurts.
Oh, you know
My
what? You
own
know what that made
people.
me think about is when we were listening to Bobby Hemmett, and Bobby Hemmett
Uh-huh.
made that comment where he said somebody be speaking all the right language, wearing the dashikis,
Hmm.
got the dreads, and they'll be a damn agent.
That's right.
They'll be a damn agent because they
Hmm.
studied you. They study you like a rat in a lab. They know your language. They know
Hmm.
your culture. They know everything they need to do to make you say, "Oh, you're just like me."
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So maybe some of the rappers are like almost like a little bit like agents
Of
unintentionally.
course they're agent. They don't know that they're an agent. I mean, there's levels to this, voice.
It's levels.
There's levels to this. But yeah, for sure. They're
Yeah.
carrying out someone's mission.
Well, let me
Hmm.
stop and say thank you to the blue collar intellectual. That's a great name. I like that.
Blue collar
That means it's
intellectual.
a hard working man. See, that's a perfect black man.
I like
Hard
that.
working and intelligent. A guy.
Well, it's blue
Shut up.
collar is white collar's hard working too. Blue collar is just a different type of hard work.
True.
And I like the intelligent part because there are a lot of blue collar workers who are brilliant, and
Mm,
just because they don't have a piece of paper saying that they
mm.
graduated from this institution, that they're less than. So yeah,
No,
I love
that's
that.
true.
I like
Good
that
point.
title.
And we know a lot of white collar idiots too. So, yeah, the blue collar intellectual. Thank you for your donation. So I'm gonna read this comment. He says, "This is where they wanted our culture to go. They wanted to destroy the power of the black family to stop our rise. They only push the negative to hurt our growth." Well, let me lay something out here for y'all that might actually confirm what the blue collar intellectual is saying. Somebody put this meme up, and I thought this was really fascinating. So I want y'all to just kind of
Oh.
look at that and just think, let's just think about this. Let's reflect on, let's just look at this for a minute, reflect on this. So here you have an image, which was a more typical image in 1960. Before integration,
Mm-hmm.
before white people gave y'all all that so-called progress, right? You had a black family. You got the mother, the father, the three children, everybody looking happy. Everybody, and the father's wearing a tie. The mother's got her pearls on.
Dressed up.
You like you can see them like sitting at the table for dinner every night, really having like a stable household. And
Yeah.
then you got the bottom image, the poor mom trying to raise the four kids by herself. Kids are hard work.
And look at them. They're all just kind of like out there.
Yeah, and they
They don't look.
sometimes there's like sadness. It's
She
like
can barely hold both of them at the same time. She's struggling in that picture.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and you got like in these images like
Hmm.
that really hit a lot of people. A lot of people are like, "What happened?"
Yeah, because in the '60s, what was going on in the '60s? Man, black children were learning at a higher rate. I think
Mm,
their test outcomes were much higher than white kids.
well,
We were outperforming white kids at that time in the 1960s.
wow. Well,
Hmm.
brother Nuri Muhammad, who's actually coming to the All Black National Convention, made an excellent point. And what Nuri said was, he said that in the 1950s, before integration,
Hmm.
the three main influences of black youth were the school, the church, and the home. He said now the three major influences of black children are their peers, the media, or sorry, their peers, social media, and music. Their peers, social media, and music.
Hmm.
And most of that is not going to lead to any kind of
Social media
success
and
or
music.
empowerment.
Yeah, and you know what? It may have even back in the 1950s, those things may have also influenced children too, but
Mm,
it didn't only influence children. Like there
right.
were other things that were just as impactful
That's a good
back
point.
then. And then at that time, all of that media, I think music and media is the same thing. Like
You
I
think
can
so?
put that in the same category because it's all media. Everything is
Mm,
just media. But yeah, I would agree with him. Really, really
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So it's kind of I don't know. I mean, I don't think I'd want to be in the situation on the bottom. It doesn't, and I think what's interesting to me is how it's because I don't think you can disconnect this, from the glorification of this,
Hmm.
right? If you look at this culture, what this culture represents, it doesn't seem to represent something that is going to
Hmm.
create empowered families. It's built on that lower vibrational, lower
Hmm.
frequency, like
Well,
sex.
don't get me wrong. I mean, even back in the 50s and 60s, there were some ratchet places,
Yeah,
but they were contained in one spot in the neighborhoods, or not a neighborhood, but in the city. So it'd be like, okay, where was it? Down at the pool hall. Remember the pool
the
hall?
pool hall,
Down at the
and
pool
then your
hall.
grandma would beat your ass when she
What you
found out
doing
that you
down in that pool hall?
ain't nothing good happening down at the pool hall.
Right. So we got pool hall culture going on right now everywhere.
And they're
You can't stop it.
they're promoting it to the children, and the children sign up for this, and then they end up like in these, like this, all of this stuff, this fast money, fast vagina culture creates that bottom picture.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, there's no sort of long-term plan. There's no sort of thinking about, okay, should I put my penis into this woman, or could that lead
Okay.
to bad
So
outcomes?
graphic,
I
boys.
know that's so graphic, but it's true. It's true.
Uh-huh.
You don't need to be letting everybody have access to your body.
Uh-huh.
Seriously.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I know. Maybe that was kind of that's true. That was
It was
kind of
very graphic, but
that
that's
was
okay.
ratchet. I'm
It's
just
okay.
I'm just as ratchet as Lizzo.
No, you're not.
I need to quit. But yeah, so I think it's kind of like one of these things where like I find it interesting that we can't connect like this image to that. Like the question is, which do you want? Do you want the top or the bottom? And we've learned to glorify that bottom image. Like we somehow think that it's heroic and
It
wonderful
Yeah.
to create parents where the father is nowhere to be found.
Mm-hmm.
Daddy's out doing whatever. He's looking for the next Lizzo situation, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
he's going to the club, and the mother's at home with all those kids. And it cost. Do you know? Guess how much it costs to raise a child in America?
Mm. Lord.
$250,000. Did you know that?
Yeah, I can believe that, probably, and then some. But the thing is that even now, when you do have the image at the top, go back to that other
Which one?
image, the family, the
Oh,
1960s. Yeah, there are still some families that look like that from the
yes.
1960s, but we don't really see much of them. They're almost invisible.
Yeah, yeah, that's so true.
You
We
know.
well, one place where we still talk about that kind of stuff actually is the All Black National Convention. So, if you guys haven't looked into it, we hope you'll go take a look. You can go to allblacknationalconvention.com. The URLs on I'll put the URL on the screen. And that's one of the things we realize is that we need real, authentic Black leadership, and it doesn't come from like one really smart person or one really charismatic speaker. It
Mhm.
comes from all of us, experts in all the different areas. So we did something that we've never done, and this was completely funded by our community. We gathered 59 speakers, 59
Oh, that number
speakers.
keeps growing. I think that's great.
Yeah, 59 speakers, and it cost us a lot of money. It took a lot of energy, and we're bringing them all to Orlando. And our goal is to solve problems. And I want Black people to hear solutions from the people they need to be hearing from. Because the people that are on TV are giving us the
Hmm.
wrong answer. We get the wrong answer on every test and then wonder why we got an F. Like, seriously, stop copying off the wrong person. If you're gonna copy somebody for the test, copy the straight A student. Don't copy the straight F student. So, like, to me, the straight A students are people like these brothers, like Freddie Taylor and Al
Oh
Duncan.
yeah,
These
yeah.
are straight A students. These two brothers are both millionaires, and they are fathers, and they love their wives, and
Yep.
they are solid dudes that are kicking butt and taking names. I'm gonna copy off of them for the test. I'm not copying off Meek Mill. I'm not copying off Lizzo. No disrespect to them, but that's not what I'm copying off of. Other people to copy off of would be somebody like a Victory Boyd, who
Oh.
comes from a great family. She's such a great singer. I always mention how Jay-Z heard her sing. She's at the convention. Jay-Z heard her sing, and he signed her to Rock Nation, like right on the spot. And she's a growing superstar. But when she went down to Florida to sing for the season opener for the NFL, they said, if you don't get the jab, you can't sing. And she said, well, for religious reasons, I can't do it. I can wear a mask. I can social distance. I can take a test. They said, no, we need you to get that shot, put this in your body. Her family said no. They
Hmm.
walked away from that money. They did a Dave Chappelle.
They did.
They did a Dave
It wasn't
Chappelle.
$50 million, I'm sure, but
It
yeah,
wasn't
but
50 million.
still,
It was
she
a lot of
walked
money.
away.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, believe me, when you go sing for the season opener of the
Oh
NFL
yeah, I know
in
it
front of
was some
millions of
money.
people, you got a lot of money on the line.
Hmm.
They had no problem walking away from that for two reasons. One, again, similar to a Chappelle or a Kyrie Irving or whatever, they had their principles intact, and are not slaves to money. We have too many people in our community who are now slaves to money. And that's really, honestly, that's where you get this buffoonery.
Hmm.
Do it
Hmm.
like I'll do anything that man tells me to do, as long as he's gonna make sure my bank account stays fat. And that to me is
Not your
not
your body stays fat.
right. I'm not. You know what? I'm not even gonna make fun of
Yeah.
Lizzo's body. I'm not even.
Yeah.
She can be. I know a lot of fat people. I used to be a fat person. Before you started making me run. You
I did
remember
not
that?
make you run.
Like, yes, you did. You put.
I just
Oh,
said
she
you
made
can
me.
come along if you want.
No, you. Well, you know what? I'm glad you talked me into it. You so sexy. I would have
I
followed you
just
anywhere.
invited you.
She don't know. The first time we were running, all I did was run behind you so I could look at your booty.
You okay?
I did. I
That's why you were
did.
so slow.
I was there. Yep. I was enjoying the view from the back. That was my injection of endorphins. It just kind of helped me get past the pain. I needed something to numb me up. But by the way, I'm gonna read this comment from Blue Collar Intellectual made another donation. So you keep making these donations, man. I appreciate that immensely because believe me, this money will be put to good use. That convention is so expensive. Let's see here. He says the end of segregation was good, but forced integration led to the destruction of all Black schools. They graduated very intelligent Black children
Yes.
that outperformed their white peers.
Yes, they
Thomas
did.
Sowell discussed this at length. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, and I think that's the complication, right? Like, I don't
Hmm.
think we all have to go become conservatives in order to make our points, right? Like Thomas Sowell is a complex figure in society, but I think all those voices should be heard, and I think that's important. And then he says props on your showing at the Solutionary Summit. Maj is a friend. B1 be salute.
Yes.
Shout out to Maj Toure.
Shout out to Maj.
Maj
Yeah.
is coming to the All Black National Convention too.
Oh, I can't wait to see him again.
Yeah, Maj is great. Maj, well, you mess with Maj, she'll shoot you.
I know. I
He's
ain't messing with
he's
him.
the gun
But
dude.
you know, he don't come with that energy. It's just like there's something about him. You're like, I'm not gonna mess with him.
Well, I'm not gonna
He's
poke.
got it
I'm not
together.
gonna poke the Monterey Dragon. That's my boy, though. That's a
He's
good,
so
good dude.
smart.
Good, very good man. All right. So, by the way, if you could please hit the thumbs up, share, subscribe button if you haven't done it yet. You're watching Pillow Talk with Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia Watkins, and my wife is a full professor of social work and a licensed therapist, and my doctor's in finance, and so we'd like to have intelligent conversations against our pillow. Alicia, you can follow her at Coaching with Dr. Alicia. Please follow her on Instagram if you're interested. If you're intrigued by this, also you can go to coachingwithdralicia.com. She does see couples and stuff like that. So let's go in a different direction. So you, babe, had educated me on stereotypes of Black
Yeah.
women,
Yeah.
and these are stereotypes a lot of people don't know about, and so and this is what people like yourself who kind of have studied this sort of thing, um you see these things like when you see hip hop imagery and things like that,
Hmm.
and so can you kind of talk about some of that, but maybe start with the like the mammy stereotype.
Yeah. So the mammy stereotype, which is the Aunt your mama stereotype. So they came from slavery, right, boys?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And it's like the house slave, the person who was usually really large in the kitchen, looked like Aunt Jemima.
hmm
They would be the wet nurse to the babies, and they
hmm
were always smiling, kind of patting up all the white women and the white children while they were running around getting hurt. They took care of the house. They
mm,
took care of the house. They were in the kitchen. They cooked everybody. They were nurturing to everybody.
okay,
And if you
like
were
just
if you were
pull
upset,
the baby into her boobs and
yeah, if you were upset and you
come here
needed
little
someone
baby,
to,
let
to
me give
talk
you some breast
to,
milk.
and they're always pretty overweight, they're always smiling, they're always pretty positive, and they're asexual.
Oh, interesting,
So they're
asexual.
not sexy, they're not married.
Okay.
All they do is just dedicate themselves to making sure white people are comfortable.
Interesting, interesting. Okay.
Hmm.
So you have the mammy stereotype, which I honestly, when I think about the mammy stereotype,
Hmm.
um, first of all, things like Gone with the Wind,
Oh
right?
yeah, she won an Academy Award for that.
What was her name again? Hattie McDaniel.
I don't remember.
I think it's Hattie something.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then of course you got Oprah.
Oprah's the ultimate mammy.
Oprah is
Yeah, she
the
became a billionaire off of it.
well, there's big money in mammying. Like white women love mammies.
Hmm.
They love that stuff. Like they kind of like they really. Do you ever hear how they talk about Oprah?
Oh, she's put up on the pedestal for sure for that mammy stereotype. So they're honoring the ancient mama,
So what? Why?
but it's still a stereotype and it's still damaging.
Really? Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So all right. So shout out to Oprah, the billion dollar
Shout out
man.
to
Is she
Oprah.
the $1 billion
She's a
mammy?
$1 billion mammy. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so Oprah, the $1 billion mammy. Okay, so the next one you had mentioned was the Jezebel. Okay, so tell me about the Jezebel
The
stereotype.
Jezebel. That's the black whore stereotype.
Oh, ooh, damn.
It
Okay,
is,
the
and
black
that
whore.
came, yeah, that came out of slavery too, because the black whore stereotype came out of, unfortunately, there were a lot of women who were raped, a lot of black women who were raped,
Okay.
and they were raped by white men,
Mm-hmm.
and sort of, instead of course, black women are less than objectified. It was somehow their fault for being raped. It's your
Mm.
fault for being raped because you shouldn't have walked around my husband like that. You shouldn't have walked around
Ooh,
scantily clad and dressed like that. So it's your fault.
damn. So you got raped and it's your fault
Because
because
you asked for it.
oh Lord.
You
Well,
asked for it, you deserved it.
I Google searched like some of the stereotypes, some
Oh,
of
did
the
you?
images
Uh-huh.
from the past. And what's interesting is when I look at the images, like on the bottom, like the three bears, like this is very sexual. With three
Mm-hmm.
black women with bare booties out, and then another one where you got the lady whose booty's so big the little white man is sitting on her butt, and then
Yeah.
the other one where
Shelf booty.
and the
Mm-hmm.
other one where the lady's got her leg up in the air in a very sexual way, and then this one where she's got her tongue out. I mean, that I really thought about that when I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I put those images next to the Meek Mill Lizzo image, and I said, "Damn,
Mm-hmm. Hypersexual.
we have not progressed. We've gone
Mm-hmm.
backwards."
Mm-hmm. And we know it because, if black women are sexually assaulted, it's not taken very seriously at all.
Mm,
It's not
mm.
taken seriously. So, yeah.
Wow,
Hmm.
wow. That's
Hmm.
whew. Oh my goodness. Okay. So the next stereotype you mentioned, and we could put them together if you want to, like the gold digger and welfare queen stereotype.
Yeah, the welfare queen. Yeah, so the woman who's just all she's into is making money. She don't care about taking care of her kids. She don't care about. It's so interesting. So where the mammy was asexual and the Jezebel whore, black whore stereotype is the total opposite of that, where you're just hypersexual.
Mm-hmm.
The gold digger doesn't really care about any of that. The gold digger is just like, I just want money. I want. Remember when in 1980s when President Reagan brought in this welfare queen and she's
Yeah.
driving a I don't know, she's driving a Cadillac. Oh, why a Cadillac of all types of cars? Anyway, driving a
She was driving a
Cadillac and
Cadillac?
she's on welfare. Yeah, that was the big thing
Are
to
you serious?
demonize. And what it did was it demonized poor people. It it demonized black women who were struggling to take care of their children. And they just said you're just here just to live off of welfare, which by the way, welfare is not necessarily, it's a safety net, so it's not something that people actually live off of and generate. I mean, that stuff is a stereotype. We learn that, and you learn that in social work school. It's
Mm.
incorrect, but it is a stereotype that was pushed out there, and it was awful.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay. Now, this sister, LRGA Curves, makes a really good point. She says, Boyce, you come off as a sus hater. I think she's talking about sisters. The way you hyper focus on Lizzo, ask her out already. Although she wouldn't give you the time of day, someone should. Okay. So,
Okay, so we're defending Lizzo. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think that I've noticed that. I've noticed that there's like a rush amongst some people to really feel like they have to defend Lizzo because the way the narrative has been portrayed, it seems, is that anyone who critiques this, like if anybody who sees this and says, you're talented, you're beautiful, you could be talented and beautiful without also
Oh,
presenting.
Lizzo, I mean, Lizzo as a person is way better than this. She's better than this outfit. She's better. She deserves to be. Look at that face. She's not happy. She
No,
ain't happy in
she
that
don't she
outfit.
don't look happy in that picture. That's for sure.
And she really is a blend. She's blending the mammy stereotype with the whore stereotype. It's almost like a blend in
Yeah.
those two things. It's like mammy is not in the kitchen anymore. Mammy is sad, and mammy is going to try to go out for the night.
Mm.
And
Like
she's
like
going to
she's
take on
numbing like
something.
she's numbing some kind of pain.
Oh, well, you know that for
Like
sure.
I'm gonna really do all these things because deep down I'm unhappy because maybe my father wasn't there,
Well,
or I
we can't
always
just
felt.
rest everything on whether your father was there or not, because she had a close relationship with her father, I think.
Did she?
Yeah, I think that's what I read about her history.
Oh.
But we can't say that. But the thing is that she's clearly not a happy person. And
Mm,
there's clearly some struggles going on within her. I think we did a video on that where we were just really encouraging her to get some help with that, because wearing that outfit, I don't even know what to call it, just kind of just coming out like that, it's a sign. She's screaming for some help.
yeah, that's whew, my gosh.
It's pretty sad. And her people on her team, shame to those people on her team.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Someone should be
if you really compare and contrast
supporting
the
her.
images, I mean, think about this, right? The images on the bottom, 50 years, 60 years later, are seen as undeniably racist.
Hmm.
They're undeniably derogatory, undeniably disrespectful. But those images on the bottom, if you ask me, are not much different from the images on the top.
Hmm.
So why is it that we can look at something from the 1920s and say, "Oh my God, how could they do that?" But see the same similar images in 2021 and say, "Oh, that's lit, yo. That's cool." I wonder what
Hmm.
people were saying back in
So
the
we're trying to
1920s.
glorify the whore. We're
Mm-hmm.
glorifying, and these are all the things that, I mean, I don't even think people understand what a stereotype means. First of all, stereotype is a lie.
Mm,
You're more than just yeah, you might be nurturing, but that's just one side of you. Everybody has a bunch of different sides to them, and so it's like putting you in that box is it's oppressive. Let's
mm-hmm.
just call it that. It's oppressive.
Well,
Hmm.
the reason stereotypes are oppressive, in my view, is because regular people got to deal with this, right? Like if I let rappers portray
Hmm.
the black man as an ignorant thug
Hmm.
who's creating babies mamas and wreaking havoc throughout the world, what happens to me when I go? and I try to like tell people, hey, I'm an engineer.
Oh, and I hate
Or
that. And then people are surprised. Ooh, you an engineer? It's just like, oh, sit down
right, like
somewhere.
right. Or
What you think I was
or
gonna
they'll be
be?
like, oh, you're black and you can't play basketball. You ever see that? You know what I'm talking about? Like
I
our
live
son.
that every
Our
day.
son goes to that. He's 6'6", and they're like, "Oh, well, you're wasting all that height and all that talent." And we're like, "What are you talking about? He's an engineering student. What? Why is that surprising to you? If he were Asian, you wouldn't say that,
Mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm.
So people need to kind of understand these stereotypes. It's not like these are just celebrities living their best life and we need to leave it alone. No, all this shit rains down on us. It rains down on
Mm-hmm.
regular people. The black woman who goes to work is going to have some white guy at the office start playing Cardi B and assume that she knows how to twerk and assume that she's going to be down for whatever, and she's going to be like, that's not who I am. And people don't see that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's wrong. It's crazy. It's
Oh yeah,
ridiculous.
it is ridiculous.
It's nuts. Okay,
But
anyway.
that's what it is, and that's what media does. That's why I was saying all of it is media. That's what media promotes,
Hmm.
and that's what happens when we don't have control of the media.
Right, and it ain't really about Lizzo and Meek Mill. It's not
No,
about the artist. It's
they
really,
come and go. They come
yeah,
and go.
it's these multi-billion dollar record labels
Mm-hmm.
that um, that are out here making money, saying things about black people that um, that they don't say about other people. They don't say these things about white people. They don't say these things about Jewish people. They don't say these things about Asian people. They only say these things about black people. And shout out to Dave Chappelle, who took all that on. I mean, Dave
Mm-hmm.
Chappelle, God bless him. That brother, like,
He took he
inspired.
Yeah.
He,
He said I won't be doing another one of these in a while. And he knows why. Because he's like, I'm gonna go all in with this with this special because who knows? This is his moment. He's gotta shine. This is his moment to get it all off his chest. And he did that.
yeah, he did. And
Oh yeah.
I feel like what Chappelle did, it just takes me back to like when you're really talking about what's really going on in the culture. We can't sit here and assume that just because white liberals think it's okay, that it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And he made that point, in his particular context, but I'm thinking about this in terms of music. Just because, these liberals are full of all these white people that tell you that it's cool and it's lit to act like this and act like that and whatever, that doesn't make it okay. Just because they paid you a lot of money to do it doesn't make it okay. And these individuals are the most responsible for all of this, because when I look at Lizzo or whomever, any hip hop artist, they're not really, to me, they're just kind of doing what they're told. They're doing what, like, because I feel like there was somebody who probably told Lizzo, like, you know what, it's great that you can sing and you can play the flute, but it would be better if you could twerk while you play the flute at the same
Oh,
time.
you gotta have a gimmick.
Right.
Because there's a whole lot of people that can sing. There's a lot of so much talent. What's gonna separate you from the rest? Oh well, I can drop it like it's hot. I can do this. Even that's gonna get played out. I don't know where we're gonna get next time.
Yeah.
How far? There is no. And the thing is that we got to look at art and what's creative and where it comes from. I mean, you can't really put limits on art anyway.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe that's what Lizzo is saying. But if
Well,
that's the case, why can't it be something else? It's the same note. Okay, Lizzo, we already saw your ass at the at the Bulls or whatever game she went to, the LA Lakers game.
oh my
We already saw
God.
that. Can you be creative and do something different? It's
Oh
like
my
she's just a
God.
one note. And so where's the creativity in that? I don't see anything creative about a fishnet outfit.
Ooh, that was scary too.
Like why can't she just be creative?
Did y'all see that when Lizzo was at the Lakers game? It was kind of scary. Like, and she was in, she and it was like an interesting thing where, where it was like, okay, let's just get publicity at all costs. And she shows up wearing this crazy outfit that was about as crazy as the one she has now.
Okay, we saw
And
that. Pretty soon people gonna be like, snore. You're a
yeah,
snorer.
yeah, and what I think, and I think that's the thing, that's the challenge I would give Lizzo. I would like to create the Lizzo challenge, and this is a challenge that's not
Just
for
be
everyone.
creative.
It's a challenge just for Lizzo.
Hmm.
The Lizzo challenge is, can you just show us how talented you are without being sexual, without being derogatory, without embarrassing yourself and your family and your community? Can
I
you?
just want her to be creative.
Yeah,
Just
just
show your creativity. Go inside and do a song, a real song that's not against all your haters, which I thought was like lame. Just do a song that comes straight from her creative side. And that's going to require some sort of a process, a very spiritual process for her to do that. But she
mm,
needs to do that and create who and what she really is. I see her as a lost person.
I would love to see Lizzo sit with like some really sharp spiritual black woman
Oh,
like Queen of Fua.
oh, Queen of
Can you
Fury. Break
imagine
it
what
down.
Queen of Fua
She
would?
be crying and
Oh,
tissue.
Lizzo, she was so like help her, that poor
Hmm.
girl. I that's what I want. I would love, but it's not really about Lizzo. It's really about. I'm not even really. If Lizzo wants to just hoe it out, I'm not going to judge that. Um, but like Willie D used to say, "Let a hoe be a hoe" back in the day. Like it's cool, but it's more like my concern for the community at large. And I remember I was on TikTok and I saw that somebody sent this to me where Lizzo was on TikTok, the app for children, and she was on her knees, basically saying, "Let me taste this mf'er," right? Like I'm gonna put this man's penis in my mouth, and she's simulating oral sex on TikTok, and TikTok is an app for kids, and I remember just thinking, you know, there's nothing wrong with people being sexual, right? We know that that's real, but there's an appropriate place for everything, right?
Hmm.
It's like and I think that that's where people don't get it, right? When you talk about this kind of thing, it's not like you're saying it's wrong for her to express her sexuality. Everybody does, right? But it's like if I walked in my grandma's house and peed on the living room floor, and my grandma, it would be like, "Why are you peeing on the living room floor?" And I would say, "Well, grandma, what do you have against pee? Everybody pees." My grandma would be like, "Yeah, but you pee in the
Well,
bathroom."
it's disrespectful to your
Right.
grandmother.
Well, I would never even
Hmm.
pee in my grandma's
I know
room.
you wouldn't do it, but I mean that's the problem.
Yeah,
You
it's
know.
like just kind of like like just have boundaries. I think that's it. Like Meek Mill's album cover. I don't think that album cover would have caused any problems if it wasn't on the side of a city bus. Like you got little 6 year olds like, "Mommy, what's that pink dot between that lady's legs?" And little girls looking up to that, which means you are effectively exposing your young children to pornographic images, sexualizing them, making little girls look up to this kind of thing.
Hypersexualizing them.
Right. And then years later, you have R. Kelly type situations where you got the R. Kellys. He ain't the only one. There's millions of people like that, or at least hundreds of thousands that will roll through the playground looking
Hmm.
for the 12, 13-year-old who ain't got parental supervision, who thinks she's growner than she actually is.
Hmm.
That's what it is. So stop serving up your little girls as future hookers. Let them be children. Shit. I mean, is that too much to ask? Am I being an asshole for saying let the children be children?
Hmm.
Or
Introducing them into these sort of things too early is problematic. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
shout out to Dave
Yeah.
Chappelle
Shout out to Dave
for
Chappelle.
making the world safe for critical thinking. Once again, because we've been doing this for a while, but it's easier to do it now
Uh-huh.
because he went on, and we should really talk about Dave because I think Dave deserves to be honored,
Yeah. Yeah.
for the way he handled things on
You.
Netflix.
Hmm.
And I love the way see, here's the difference between Dave Chappelle and like other, artists or comedians who sell out. Dave Chappelle is not addicted to money. And he's more committed to his principles than he is to the dollar bill. That's it. That's the basic common denominator. That's what creates him. That's what creates any black person you ever see that stands up and says, "You know what? I don't need your money. I'm not doing that."
Hmm.
It's usually because they figured out the meaning of the word enough. Now this is getting in my space because I'm a financial guy. Financial psychology is my thing,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So he figured out what the word enough means. He's like, I got a $60 million contract. I don't need more of your motherfucking money. I don't care if you cancel me or and that's important
You have to
because
be able to live with yourself. You
yes,
have to be able to say, okay, I'm really honoring my convictions here and what I believe in. I mean, when there's a disconnect, that's a problem. I mean, you have mental health issues, you have all sorts of guilt and all sorts. No, he's not living like that.
yeah, a lot of black
Yeah.
people live in fear.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you because that cancel culture and all that's real stuff. I mean, I remember a couple years ago when I made a comment about Lizzo on Twitter and Lizzo responded. right? And when she responded, that kind of of course the white liberal media all went crazy trying to label me, in whatever racist
Oh,
stereotypical
they
way.
said she handed you. They said
Well,
she
well, they
got you
they came
good.
back like I was toxic masculinity and that this is sexism, and that's what they do, right? They
Mm-hmm.
defend their own. I got canceled to some extent. I didn't really get canceled. I mean, I didn't give a shit. But actually, I was supposed to give a speech at the in Birmingham, Alabama, with the what's that? I can't remember the name of the organization.
Gaston.
Gaston, AG Gaston group. Yeah, and I love AG Gaston. Like I've talked about AG Gaston immensely. Every black person in the world needs to know about AG Gaston. Just as a quick point, write this down. AG Gaston. Look this brother up. Bad black man. Well, I was supposed to give a speech for them. And because they had white people that were funding their event, corporations, and they saw this headline, sexist black professor attacks Lizzo for dressing like a whore and embarrassing black women. They basically, that wasn't the headline, but that was my headline in my head. They reached out and said, you can't come here and speak. Now here's the deal, right? I wasn't gonna backpedal. I wasn't backpedaling off of shit. I'm not apologizing when I know I wasn't wrong. But but there's a cost to that, right? I was gonna get $10,000 for that speech. And I'm gonna tell you, it is the ultimate blessing to know you can go somewhere and speak for 20 minutes and get $10,000. I do
Mm-hmm.
not for
Oh
one moment,
yeah.
I do not for one moment pretend like that's par for the course and that I'm not infinitely blessed to have a chance to do that. But when they did that, I politely said, you can kiss my whole entire black ass. I'm not backing off of this
Mm-hmm.
because the community matters to me more than getting your little corporate paycheck. But here's the thing. I didn't really take that stand just because I'm so infinitely courageous. I did it because I was financially secure
Mm-hmm.
and I had learned the meaning of the word enough. You can't buy me now.
And I'll tell you one thing: you did not lose not 1 minute of sleep.
No, I didn't.
So it did not have an effect on you
Well, you were sleeping. You were
psychologically.
sleeping right next to
I
me.
was right here. We were sleeping good.
Yeah, yeah. Like
Bye, AG Gaston
I know
conference.
it was literally like one of those things where I was like, oh, can you believe that they canceled my speech? And then I was like, so what's for dinner? Like it was like that fast. It wasn't even like, oh my God, Lord Jesus,
It was not.
how we gonna pay the bills?
It wasn't a catastrophe.
Anyway, I want to let everybody know that this is a pillow talk with Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia, and this is where we lay against our pillows and have intelligent conversations. There's enough ignorant dialogue in the world, so we figured, we're both college professors, and we want to engage our people, and so if you're into that kind of thing, you're welcome to hang out with us on the platform. And also, Alicia is going to be with us at the All Black National Convention this year, which is going to be in Orlando, Florida. October 29th through November 1st. I hope you'll join us because it's going to be really great. It's the biggest convention we've ever had. And basically, it is necessary right now, probably more than ever, because we're dealing with a lot of problems. You have millions of black people who can't get jobs now because they didn't want to get the jab. That means you're going to have to figure out how to start your own business. You're going to have to educate your own kids. You're going to have to
Mhm.
figure out how to live off the grid. So we brought together a Black Brain Trust that's going to help us get that done. Solution oriented people. Like one sister that's going to be there is Teddy Ewing, who is a crypto and investing expert who's actually flying all the way in from Egypt. She's brilliant. She works with us in the Black Business School. Another person is Queen Afua. Queen Afua is, if you haven't looked her up, it's AFUA. She's my Dr. Fauci. This woman is brilliant and wonderful. She's 68, has the energy of a 30-year-old. And the way she's responding to this whole jab economy, she's not judging you on whether you get the jab or not. What she's saying is, instead of taking big pharma's solution of buying some overpriced pill or getting some jab that you're not comfortable with, how about you take care of your immune system?
Mhm.
How about we look at the fact that while we know 600,000 people died from the virus, we also had 600,000 people die from heart disease. From all this crazy food they got us eating, this stuff that they're putting in the food that they're not telling us about. So Queen Afua is somebody that I think is more consistent with our culture. And there's just a long list of great people that are going to be there. And we're also doing something. This was Alicia's idea. We're going to do speed dating. And the reason we're doing speed dating is not just because Alicia is a relationship therapist, but also because one of the things you guys have mentioned to us since the last convention is that when you start becoming Black and conscious, when you start vibrating on a higher frequency, when you start becoming woke and aware, you run into just a lot of people that are not quite there with you. It's like being a college sophomore trying to date
Oh,
kindergartners.
it's lonely. It's a very lonely feeling when you come
Mm,
into this, and you need to have a group of people who think like you. So you have to
yeah.
sort through all of the other people who you're like, okay, all right, this
Yeah,
is it.
right, right. So yeah, so if you're looking to date somebody who's not gonna make fun of you because you don't know the Cardi B lyrics, like come to the All Black National Convention. So we're gonna have fun. We're gonna do the backyard barbecue. We're doing Black Movie Night. We're having the B1 Awards. We're gonna give awards out to Black people in the community who are doing their thing and doing excellent work. So join us. You can go to allblacknationalconvention.com. The URL's on the screen. This is a celebration of Black excellence. So hit the thumbs up button, hit the thumbs up, share, subscribe button. So this week, babe, we were watching this interesting show online or on Netflix called Squid Game.
Oh,
And Squid Game was really it's first of all it's gory as hell, and but it's good. Like if you can handle the gore, I highly recommend checking out Squid Game. So we were watching Squid Game, which
it's so tough to watch.
very emotional, very
Oh,
emotional. And for some reason, I guess maybe because I'm always thinking about what's going on with Black people. When I watch Squid Game, the whole premise of Squid Game was like they basically take people that are like desperate, financially desperate.
needy and desperate.
Yes, so it becomes a game for really rich people who have money to burn, who find people who are financially desperate, and they put them in this enclosed space and pretty much make them play games for their life.
Hmm.
Like if you lose the game, you get eliminated.
For their own enjoyment, by the way.
Right, right, for their own pleasure, their own enjoyment.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know if anybody else felt that way, but when I watch the Squid Game or
Oh
the
yeah,
Hunger Games and all that, I always think about Black
I
people.
do. It is.
I feel like so I feel like when I'm seeing like what's going on, like with the desperation of like the whole Mammy Jezebel nonsense going on with music and all that, I feel like I'm looking at the Squid Games or the Hunger Games, like in real
Hmm.
life.
Yeah, because you got a prize at the end. You're gonna get reimbursed. You're gonna get paid.
Yeah,
You get paid
like you can go
for
through it.
playing the game. If you play the game and you play the game correctly, there's an award for you. Reward.
Yes,
I know
butter
reward.
biscuits.
That's right.
Yeah, and I
Uh-huh.
feel like we have to kind of say to ourselves, how do we get out of the Squid Game? Like, how do we get out of, do Black people all have to play the
Stop
Hunger
squid
Games?
gaming. Yeah,
Right?
because it was
Ooh, that would be a good
stop
hashtag. Stop
squid
Squid
game.
Game.
Because they and I think the most devastating thing about this film is that they were like, okay, vote. It's up to you. You can decide whether it has to be
You don't.
majority.
Yeah,
You
they made
decide
it
whether you want to
voluntary.
sign
Yep.
up for this or not. And
Ooh.
that's the most sinister thing about the
So
whole
you can't
thing.
say we took away your freedom, but we really did.
Yeah.
Right? Like life is your prison.
Yeah, they get you in this desperate situation where you just do anything to get out of it. You even pay for your life to get out of it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and you notice like in the Squid Game, like there was like this kind of evolution of the character where the main guy who ended up winning all the money, he kind of learned something that's really important that, that there are things more important than money.
Yeah, he's like, let's just vote. Let's just okay. This is a spoiler for people who haven't seen it, so I don't know. But he told the guy at the end, I won, but let's just vote. Come on, let's stop playing. Let's stop
Mm.
playing the game. Let's be like Dave Chappelle. I'm not gonna play.
Mm.
I'm gonna
And
walk off.
you know what? You know what? I think what you just said was an important critical point. There literally is a solution for like
Yeah,
so many of our people. Like if you look at what liberated Dave Chappelle. Was it that he made all the money and had all the success? Was it that he conquered the white man on his own territory? No, Dave Chappelle just said, "I'm not playing your little game."
non-participation. I'm gonna not participate in this.
Yes, yes. So many of our people, I think, are so determined to try to win the game
Hmm.
that they never ever learn that you ain't even got to play if you
You
don't
don't
want
have
to.
to play.
Right, and I agree, and that was actually something I decided years
Hmm.
ago. I said I'm not playing your game. I'm not working for your corporations. I'm not
Hmm.
gonna sit around here trying to get you to like me. I don't need your validation.
Hmm.
I'm not playing your game.
And clearly, some things went wrong in order for them to even be in a position where they're so desperate. Like
Yeah.
they were kind of like not really adhering to some of the things they needed to have been doing anyway, because that's what got them into that position to be so desperate. They
Well,
had choices to make along the line.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So I think there's the lesson there, right? In my
Yeah.
view, like it's You ain't got to play the game. God gave you the freedom to choose freedom if that's what you want to do. And I believe when I think about freedom, I think about, you go back to that whole comparison of what life was like for black folks before we started wanting all these things we didn't really want, and what it's like now that we're chasing the bag and chasing validation and all this other stuff, chasing fame, Instagram fame, and all this other nonsense.
Well,
Like it's
expensive items. Why would you want to buy? Why would you waste your money on all that expensive stuff
I don't know. I don't
so
know.
that you can be a slave to something else?
Boom, there you go.
So you
So
can adhere to this image. I can go on and on, but go ahead.
no, I think we've had our revelation.
Yeah,
Any final thoughts, babe?
I'm not playing the Squid Game.
There we go. No Squid
No
Game.
Squid Gaming. Don't
No
Squid
Squid
Game
Game.
me.
Ooh, Squid Gaming. That's like a verb or something. No Squid.
Don't Squid Game
You
me.
Squid Gaming today. Quit Squid
I ain't
Gaming.
playing with you.
Right on. So, anyway, this is Pillow Talk with Dr. Boyce and Dr. Alicia Watkins. My website is boycewatkins.com, which you guys may or may not know. And also, you can follow Dr. Alicia at coachingwithdralicia.com. She is a couples counselor, so she does see couples. So if you're interested in that, feel free to visit the website. Also, you can follow her on Instagram at coaching with Dr. Alicia. And so I want to say thank you all for joining us for another Pillow Talk. This was a really fun conversation. I hope you'll hit the thumbs up button, subscribe. And if you know other intelligent black people who are tired of the nonsense, who want to grow, I hope you'll share the video. I hope you'll let them know like what we're doing, like the revolution's happening. And what's happening is that intelligent black people are not afraid to be smart anymore. I think all of us should be speaking up. We need the loudest voice, not just, the people that are fitting into whatever nonsense that they're giving you in media. And so again, that's the whole premise of the All Black National Convention, which is, you had something you want to say, babe?
Yeah, I just realized we didn't talk about that last stereotype.
Oh, what's the last one? The gold digger?
No, the sapphire. We didn't talk about the angry.
Oh,
Did we
angry
talk
black.
about the angry black woman?
Mm-mm.
No, we didn't. That was the
Okay.
last one.
Okay. So the
So
angry black woman, you mentioned gold digger, the welfare queen, the
Gold Digger Welfare Queen, Jezebel Black Whore.
mhm.
What was the other one? I never can remember all of them at the same time. But
Let me see. I
oh, the
think I wrote
mammy, the
the
mammy
yeah,
ain't your mama.
Jezebel, Mammy, Gold Digger, Welfare Queen, Sapphire.
Uh-huh.
Did I get them all?
The sapphire is the angry black woman.
Okay, the Sapphire's the angry black woman.
Yeah, and I have that stereotype is particularly problematic because after being oppressed, and we talk about all the different ways black women have been oppressed, and when you respond to it out of anger, when you should be angry, you should be angry if your children are being killed in the street, like, you should be angry by some of the injustices, right? And so it's almost like there's no compassion for that anger. It's
Mm,
just saying, oh, you're just an angry black woman, but it's like you're getting off the topic. Why am I so angry? Why are we so angry sometimes? It's because of the hurt. It's because of the disrespect. It's because of the abuse. It's the most compassionate thing you can do for somebody is allow them to be angry, because
mm,
they should be angry. We shouldn't be happy. We shouldn't
hmm.
be happy by some of the things that we see. So the angry black woman is the fourth stereotype.
Okay, all right, all right. So,
Anyway,
thank you for sharing that.
that was my last one.
I learned a lot. I learned a lot, and that's what we have to understand is that the stereotypes are all around us. We think everything's changed and the world's gotten better, but I mean, if you look at the way they're portraying us now and the way they portrayed us 100 years ago, there's not much of a difference. I think the main difference now is that we are squid gaming to some extent because many of our black people are signing up for this.
Hmm.
Meek Mill, I think he's signed with Jay-Z, and Jay-Z, I imagine if Jay-Z didn't feel that this image was appropriate, then Jay-Z would put an end to it, right?
Hmm.
So I understand, you want to talk about freedom of expression and all that. Well, why don't we express ourselves in a way that's benefiting our people as opposed to always, you know, going for the lowest common denominator?
Hmm. For
So,
sure.
so thank you all very much for hanging out with us. God bless you. It was great. Join us, All Black National Convention, October 29th through November 1st. We're meeting in Orlando, Florida. Alicia has brought in speed dating. We're going to have speed dating. We've also got some great experts coming in. Jay Ortiz is a hip hop artist, actually out of Philadelphia, Meek Mill City. He actually has the first NFT art gallery
That's
ever.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah. He's an artist to the fullest. He runs art from the heart. He's a smart young brother, 29 years old, and just killing the game. You and I both loved Lene Javette, who is a business startup specialist,
Hmm.
who was actually very helpful in a lot of the things that you and I have done. So a lot of great people like that. We mentioned Queen Afua, Devon Travell. This brother does. He created a game called the Black Wall Street game,
Ah.
and and Devon is one of the faculty in the Black Business School. He teaches our children. We have a great children's program in the Black Business School because we understand that one of the ways for Black people to get ahead is to teach our children wealth before everyone else does it. Right. And if you do that and you make that part of your family culture, then you can always win. And so we got a lot of great people at the convention, and I hope you guys will join us. Allblacknationalconvention.com. And then another little footnote is that we actually have B1 t-shirts that we'll sell at the convention if you'd like to get one, or if you want to get one online, you can go to wokeblacktees.com. So if you're B1 and you want to express that, that's the logo, that's the one we're using. So feel free, use the hashtag, and hit the thumbs up button on your way out. And God bless you, everybody. It was great talking to you. We love you. We'll see you soon.
Bye, everyone.